All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Planning Pulse podcast. My name is Beau Mellin, Senior Solution Strategist here at Active Cyber. Along with me, you guys know the drill by now, Matt Harvison, Practice Lead for our Adaptive Planning practice here at Active Cyber. We're excited for today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the audit trail. So, some of our customers definitely know what this is, and some people that leverage Adaptive, pretty maturely are aware of the audit trail. But for those of you on the line that may not leverage this today or are still sitting inside of Excel or Google Sheets, let's go ahead and paint a picture, run through a little bit of a scenario here. You guys are doing your budgeting inside of Excel today. It's around quarter end or month end, or maybe you're doing your big annual budget. You've got, 5, 10 people on the finance team. You're pushing these files out to department managers or location managers, or maybe it's someone that owns a specific cost center. They go ahead and they make an entry or they fat finger over a cell inside of Excel. It blows up your entire workbook. You guys don't know who did it, who made that edit, what are the values used to be, and what are the values now. Back in that time, if you're sitting inside of Excel or Google Sheets, this could be something that could push your entire budget or forecast or plan back weeks and weeks and be a big strain to the overall larger finance department and the board that needs to be able to, prepare for the upcoming budget. Now, in a better, more scalable world inside of Adaptive, you guys don't have to worry about that. With audit trail capabilities, we have the ability to search on a user by user basis or data intersection by data intersection basis to be able to see what edits people are making and what are the values used to be, what are the values now. So say Matt is a department manager for a specific department, but they're working inside of Adaptive, and he goes in and he fat fingers over a formula or a cell or makes an override that he shouldn't, and it tweaks your forecast in a pretty material way that, kind of when, I go open up a report and I see, whoa, that does not look right. I can go run an audit trail and say, I need to see the activity for XYZ intersection over the past week or two. And boom, I see what changes have been made. I can go back, version over version and see what happened. And I don't have to worry about, blowing up an entire workbook because somebody that's not intimately in the tool on a daily basis or inside of our workbook in Excel on a daily basis makes a harmless error, but something that could have a lot of ramifications in the long run. So audit trail and Adaptive can really help us out there. Matt, what are your thoughts there on the audit trail too?
Yeah, 100%. I think you hit the nail right on the head, is that this is an action that is being performed by finance departments all the time, right? They send out an Excel workbook. They ask their team to complete part of the process. It gets it in, gets consolidated, and then they start to run some numbers on it, make some tweaks here and there, and then all of a sudden it's materially off, but we have no idea who's made what change. Or maybe Beau and his department, his team are working on changes on a Wednesday or on a Thursday. I run the numbers again on a Friday, and they're just completely different than what I had expected. There's ways to go back in and say, okay, who made this change? Maybe I can talk to them about why they made this change. Just really good access back into the detail. That's kind of where we're going to show you all today, is a couple different flavors of audit trail functionality that's available inside of Workday Adaptive Planning. And believe it or not, this is one of those myths about Adaptive too, right?
Yeah.
Do you have audit trail functionality? That's a lot of times that gets thrown out. I will point out, I'm just going to hop into the demo here, Beau, and maybe as I'm pulling it up, I'll just mention I really like that sweatshirt that you got on today. Really, really like
Let's
that.
go. They only
But
give it to a good podcast host.
I love that. Well, maybe what I'll just start out with today is just talking about some of our customers. Maybe they're just struggling to run audit trail reports. A big reason for why they may be struggling to run those is because it actually is something that has to be set up on a version to version basis. So first, whenever I want to check to make sure that I can run audit trail search or audit trail capabilities, I want to go into model management right in here and go into my versions. Versions, I can see I've got my Planning Pulse audit trail version that I spun up here for us today. You can see that I've got this audit trail box that has to be checked in order for us to log audit trail. So if you're out there and you're having trouble running these audit trail reports, go in and check your version settings. That's the first place to start, is we want to make sure that the version is set up to record the audit trail. Now, when you create a new version, or if I'm going to create a plan, it's going to have this little feature that's going to say, do I want to copy that audit trail forward? So as you go in and make tweaks, do I care what changes were made in the previous working budget, or the rolling forecast, monthly or quarterly rolling forecast? Maybe I want to see those continual changes, or maybe I just want to wipe the slate clean. So there is that functionality there to sort of start fresh whenever you create a new plan version. So some of the changes that we had talked about, maybe they occurred directly on the income statement. We'll start there as just an example of the first place you can go to check and see what changes have been made to a cell. Maybe something like Beau said is materially different than what you would expect. So here I am on my income statement. I'm here in my audit trail planning version, but I'm on my top total company level, sort of that consolidated aggregated level. I'm going to go ahead and just jump into my sales north level, where it's really easy to see where a department owner could go in and make changes. So as an example here in this commission account, I can see that I've got $500 entered in January, and then I've got a formula that sort of picks up in these outer months. Now, maybe as a user, we had somebody come in and maybe they just, sort of figured in, maybe I want to do this times 50%, or, times 50 in this case, maybe 0.5. So for 50%, you can see I've got this change that I've got to go in and enact. I've got to save this change, or maybe instead of $500, we're expecting, $1,500. Whatever type of change it is, whether it's to the formula or to the hard-coded value, that change is going to be saved by your department owner, and then it's going to be submitted for approval or going through that planning process as your budget's trying to get approved. So in these cells, it looks like nothing's going on. I can go in, I can explore the cell, and from Explore Cell, I've got access into Audit Trail. So Audit Trail functionality lets me know timestamp change of who made this specific change and when. Now that's for that hard-coded value. Additionally, if I wanted to see the change over here for the formula edit, I can see that I've got the old value, so no change to the formula, and then this new value, this new edited formula that I've got. So really easy to get pinpointed examples of changes that have been made. But let's say, for example, your department owners are going through and making a lot of changes. Maybe you don't know where that change is necessarily going to take place. And that's going to take place, it could be on the commission line, it could be on a revenue line, it could be on maybe a planning sheet of some sort. You need the ability to run reports on those as well. So there's a couple of different features that I'm going to show to really highlight the ability to run the audit trail report. So like I said, whether the change is being made directly on the P&L, or maybe if the change is being made, let me just copy this row here for us. Maybe your change is being made directly on a planning sheet. In this case, we're adding a new hire request that we've got here. This is, an open position for us, and the hire is 11/22, maybe 2024, something of that nature. Again, blue font lets me know I got the unsaved change. But if your planning team are coming in, adding new hires, making changes to revenue or expected sales prices, or making changes to benefits, some of those underlying assumptions that we have, it's really hard to be able to capture by going directly from Explore Cell into the audit trail report. So you need the ability to actually spin up an audit trail report. So inside of reports, again, from the main menu, going into reports, I can add a new report. In this case, I've got the audit trail search report. There's two flavors of an audit trail search report. The first is this basic version that you're looking at here. You can see, switch to advanced is available on the top right-hand corner. But maybe I don't know really what I'm looking for to start. I can, select any levels or all levels. I can select a particular time period. So again, going back to the example, maybe Beau and his team was working on a Wednesday, and all of a sudden something's changed on Thursday. I don't have to look at history for 2 months. I can just look at history for yesterday if I wanted to. And then I can search that audit trail to see where any of these changes are. So here's that commission. I've made that change in January. I've made that change in February. And then all of the underlying changes for making that edit on the personnel screen for us as well. So really easy for us to be able to say, okay, Matt made a lot of changes. He made them on this particular day at this particular time. But let's say another example, maybe you were operating strictly inside of a personnel planning sheet and somebody had put some new hires in. What you can do inside of the advanced search is actually get a little bit more granular in what you're looking for, right? Maybe it's particular users. Maybe you don't want to search through everybody. Maybe you just know it's Beau and his team. Maybe there's a particular level that you want to select here. But the big differentiator is the type of data that you can search. So if I want to look at GL, or if I want to look at lookups, or if I want to look at exchange rates that our team may have changed, if I want to look at really any pinpointed specific place, right? Maybe we go into our a revenue cube sheet that we've got set up. We don't want to search through the GL accounts to then have to trace it back to the revenue cube. from this advanced search, we can go directly into our cube accounts. We can go directly into cube accounts for this particular level and then run our report. So a lot of functionality exists from an audit trail search capability inside of Adaptive. The advanced search, letting you get into more granular models. The basic search, when something's changed and I'm not sure where it is or what happened. And then pinpointed explore cell audit trail capability on each individual cell. So a lot of flexibility from an audit trail functionality perspective. And yeah, from our experience and all of our customers, one of those three methods is going to be likely to help you resolve some of those problems that you've had.
Nice, nice. No, that was great, Matt. And just showing this off a little bit today, talks makes me think about so many of the demos that I do to our customers. And when I drill into a cell and show off that audit trail, and it shows the user's name, the date and time of the change, the old value and the new value, so many of them are like, "Oh my God, like you guys don't understand." Like that value alone of being in a cloud-based planning tool like Adaptive as opposed to an Excel or a Google Sheets is so big for so many of our customers. Now, to wrap us up here, I think it's good. We've implemented for so many different customers. We've seen every type of customer leverage every nook and cranny of Adaptive to its fullest capabilities, and Audit Trail is definitely one of those. So for some of our customers that are long time Adaptive owners, right? A lot of people when they implement, they maybe start with the finance team and the accounting team, but then every year they own the tool, they get more and more users in the system. They bring in people from HR, they bring in people from IT, they bring in regional managers or cost center owners, and to make the budgeting process more and more and more collaborative. Now, your FP&A team or your finance or accounting or your core planning team, whether that's HR or IT, supply chain, whatever it is, all of those people, right, are probably adaptive on a relatively frequent cadence. They understand the system. They know how every single model interacts with each other, and they're not probably making any type of edits that maybe, mess up a specific forecast or something that's going to have a pretty big material change that shouldn't be reflected. Now, if I am someone and it's my first go round in Adaptive and I'm a regional manager, maybe I go into a sheet and I make an edit to a spot I shouldn't, or I don't know understand how the model's interacting with each other, right? We don't have to worry about the fact that, if I sent you a 30 tab Excel workbook and I don't understand how every single V lookup and 20 nested if statement works inside of the Excel sheet, boom, I'm going to blow it up. And Adaptive, even though I'm a first time user and editing the plan for the first time, the core finance team that really interacts with it on a daily basis doesn't have to be worried that I'm going ahead and making an edit, because if I mess up, audit trail, we're going to be okay, right? And we see our customers that have a lot of users in the system on a daily basis leverage this to its fullest extent. So I think that, Matt, is something we've seen our customers get a lot of value out of.
100%. The audit trail functionality is without a doubt, it would have saved me so many nights, so many weekends just
Yeah.
working through Excel workbooks. So if you're a finance user and you're in Excel or you've got part of your process in Excel, know that digital transformation inside of Adaptive is going to save you time long run when you start to distribute your plan out to your team and everybody's going in and making changes, making edits. And all of a sudden something's due, some report is due, but you don't know why the numbers aren't tying to what you had done yesterday. Audit trail functionality is going to help you work through that.
Yep. 100%. 100%. All right, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. That is our episode on audit trail reporting. Don't go too far, though. Next episode is still going to be in the reporting realm. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. You can plan on it.